It was very easy to pick God over everything else because what does God say? I am the way, the truth, and the life. Hi, my name is Jahlana and welcome to this channel. If you're new here, I just want to say welcome, and if you're coming back, welcome back. We touch on all things of the self, but in a godly way. But today is a little bit different. I'm actually doing an introduction video plus a Q&A, and I feel like this should have probably been my first video, but I hopped in and just started going. So I'm letting y'all get the chance to know me and know a little bit more about me so that we could probably resonate a little bit more better. But let's go ahead and dive in. Starting off, my name is Jahlana. A lot of people can tend to say and mispronounce my name as Jahlana or Jahala, whatever. But my name is Jahlana and I'm from Lawton, Oklahoma, which is a small like town. Growing up, I've always had an interest of being a YouTuber. I've always been an interest of having a camera. I actually do photography on the side as well, and I'll share a little bit later on in the video about that. But I always wanted to be in front of the camera, but I feel like with being in middle school and being in high school and growing up, there was a lot of insecurities and a lot of confidence issues that I had that kind of blinded me to not pursue a lot of things that I knew I was good at. And so back then, I was just really in a bad place of being bullied a lot. People would bully me for almost everything you can think of. My voice, my nose, the way I dressed, the way I walked. It was just continuous bullying. And so I grew up not really feeling good about myself. And so that led me to people pleasing. It led me to seeking validation. And it was just a very not really good path that I was leading into. And so I led myself into a lot of rebellious motives growing up. And so it just wasn't really the best way that I was handling things as a person. And so I feel like this is why I've learned a lot, because I put myself in a position to learn a lot. From that being said, I feel like now I've gained a lot of confidence to be able to sit here and to just look at this camera and to know that I'm confident enough to speak and to have the vulnerability to share with other people that are interested in getting to know me. I've always been in tune with wanting to have a community, and that's something that I've prayed about for a really long time with God, is to be able to share God's kingdom, to be able to support and uplift and encourage people. And so that is what led me to YouTube, is really narrowing down on what exactly it is that I'm wanting to achieve with YouTube. And I feel like you can have so many different quote unquote niches, but God's not a niche, and I love that. God is God. And so here I am just sharing simply just that. I love how I tag in the self, and it helps just to really help us overcome ourselves, but to overcome it in a way where God's involved in that. So that transition isn't just by ourselves, but we're also being in reminder of God. And so I feel like this is where it's come to full circle. This is why I make these videos, because it all makes sense now. I feel like back then I didn't know. It's probably why I never started. And there was a video that I did in college once that was like a dorm tour video, and I did a touring of my dorm and having it all decorated, and that was like my freshman year of college, and I never looked at making another YouTube video again. So it's just really reassuring to really get the opportunity to really get to interact with a good community and to really share the kingdom of God with others, to be a person that, people can share wisdom from and gain a lot of things from. And so that is what led me to YouTube. So let's go ahead and dive into some Q&As. And so I'm going to start off with the first question. And the first question is, hey Jahlana, which verse in the Bible really changed your life to live your life for God? Feel free to share a background story if needed. I really enjoy what God is doing through the videos you make. Keep going. First of all, shout out to you for the support and encouragement. I truly appreciate you. I feel like the verse that comes straight to my mind is Romans chapter 12, verse 1 through 2, which is, you shall not be conformed to this world, but transformed by the renewing of your mind. I feel like with me being 23, I feel like it's very easy to just consistently kind of lose your way at me being so young. And so I feel like with the trends and being right in the middle of everything, I feel like it can be very easy to just kind of lose your way a little bit. And I feel like for me, being young, I was kind of already in tune with that stuff already. And so growing up, I realized I was always in tune with that. That was something I've had to overcome and let go of. And so I feel like I've had to not be conformed to a lot of these things in the world. And it has transformed my relationship with God. It has renewed my mind to the point I'm so much more wiser now. But back then, like, I was struggling a lot. I experienced so much downfall. And so that verse for me, Romans chapter 12, verse 1 through 2, is very, very important for me, because it has pushed me to realize, like, no matter what, like, don't be conformed to this world. No matter what this world transitions to, no matter what it grows into, do not be conformed by it, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And so I have to consistently remind myself of that as I am walking with God. And so I feel like there's so many verses that I love and so many verses that touch my heart, but this is the one that's very important with me, because not only does it reassure me in my walk with God, but it reassures me in my identity in this world. I hope that answers that question. The next question is, have you ever experienced church hurt? How do you recommend finding a good church family and community after experiencing it? Honestly, there were times where I have experienced a lot of sad things in my life, even in high school. After I graduated high school, I would get up at 9 a.m. and go to church and just sit by myself. And I've never really been connected with the church at all until just recently. And the church that I've connected with, I was baptized there, and I've been there, for about almost 2 years now, and it's become my church family. So I've never pushed myself in a way that I've experienced church hurt. I know a lot of people have, and a lot of people are very, not really, in tune with church because of how they've experienced a lot of church hurt. And a lot of pastors are false prophets, and so it's kind of conflicting when finding a church home, because you don't want to give your money and here's this pastor buying a whole new car or flexing their new house, and they haven't provided to the community in any way. You don't want to be bamboozled like that, nor do you want to put yourself in a way where you're not comfortable at that church or you feel inadequate at that church. I feel like for the people who have, definitely keep asking certain people that go to good churches where they attend, and just really try to pinpoint what fits you most. Not every church is going to fit you, and that's completely okay, but you need to make sure that you find churches that are comfortable in your realm, that you can feel comfortable putting your hands up and screaming hallelujah. You can feel comfortable getting on your knees and crying to God. You can feel comfortable screaming every word of every lyric about Jesus Christ. Make sure you put yourself in those positions to where you feel comfortable to do those things, because that matters. You don't want to be shy about God. You want to be loud. You need to go to churches that allow you to have that. I just recommend to just keep trying. Don't give up on a church. Going to church is very important, and having that church community, being able to volunteer and do things within the church and to be a part of it is such a wonderful feeling. And I hope you know that you will find your church. You just have to keep searching for it, because I'm not going to lie, I've been to about 6 churches, seeing where I fit in and what matches me. It's been a ride, but my boyfriend actually brought me to my church home, and he got me into my church community, and so it's a blessing for that, because I was able to get baptized there. I got baptized, I believe, at 21. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. Next question, can you explain more about your major? I've been really interested. So I graduated college 3 months ago from the University of Central Oklahoma, and I graduated with a degree in strategic communications with a minor in real estate. What I'm doing with my major right now is I'm utilizing it for my outside purposes and passions, and I'm actually trying to get under my belt with digital marketing. I've always had a huge interest with marketing. I've always loved marketing, and I've always loved learning about it. I also love videographing, and I love photography. And also, for y'all who don't know what strategic communications is, it's journalism, it's broadcasting, it's public speaking, it's marketing. It's literally all of those things. The list is full. I feel like this is a really good degree, because not only did I learn marketing, but I learned how to talk. I've learned how to speak in front of a lot of people. I've learned how to make content on Adobe InDesign. I've learned how to do so many different things, how to write. I mean, it's so extensive. I've learned so much. I even took a photography class. Like, there are so many different good things that you've learned. And so that's my degree. And then I minored in real estate. I plan to eventually invest into a property, hopefully before inflation increases and we go into recession. But I do plan to eventually own a property. I don't know exactly what that looks like, but I would love to maybe get into a commercial real estate and probably own my own building one day. I don't know what I would do in it, but I kind of hope to have that. And so I wanted to make sure I'm knowledgeable in real estate and knowing how all of that works. So that is my major and my minor. Right now I'm actually a full-time marketing communication specialist for a mental health nonprofit. So I do all things social media, all things event planning, all things marketing, and it's been very wonderful. I've been there for about 4 months after I just graduated. So that's what I've been doing with my life. Next question is, what's the most difficult challenge about being a Christian? Also, where are you from? From Oklahoma. I'm from Lawton, Oklahoma, and that's where I'm born and raised. So the most difficult challenge about being a Christian would definitely have to be the judgment. I feel like a lot of people will tend to look at you differently, you know, once you're big and bold about God. A lot of people are in the world. A lot of people don't care about that. A lot of people don't have no time for that. Nobody knows what that is. And so here I am, a Jesus freak, you know, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And so I feel like that's something that I've had to overcome. And it's not always been easy. And you know, there are people that are like, I've seen you transform. And there's probably people that have been intimidated by me because of how fast I've transformed with God. But I feel like being judged has been something I've had to really learn. And now I'm not afraid of it at all. Like, I will scream Jesus on top of the highest mountain in the world. Like, I don't care now. But back then, the hardest thing for me as a Christian was overcoming that fear of being judged by others or looking, you know, in a weird way because I'm in love with Jesus and I love Jesus. And so I feel like that has something I've had to overcome. But now here I am, you know, I love God. I'm loud and proud. Yeah, that's been my most difficult challenge. Next question is, what were the steps you took to change your life for the better? I've learned to cut people out of my life. Needed that time to grow and to focus on me. There has been times where I've been facing a lot of spiritual warfare as well as a lot of losses. I feel like during these processes of time, I've lost my dad. There's been a lot of times where I've been trying to figure out life financially, you know, being a youngster in this world. And it's all led me to honestly being in solitude. I've been in solitude for a very long time now. I can say I do not have as many friends by counting this hand. Like, I probably only have like 3 good friends, honestly. And I don't have a lot of people that stick around. And so that has been something that I feel like is big, is when you are wanting to grow or change for the better, you're definitely going to have to kind of get by yourself. I feel like that's where transformation happens. I made a video about that, about loneliness. I mentioned that it does that. You will transform when you're by yourself. Another thing that I've done is I've learned to be more self-aware of the choices I make. I've always been self-aware as a kid. I feel like that's why I'm very knowledgeable and wise in a lot of things now. But I feel like when you're wanting to change your life for the better, you are going to realize everything you do and what needs to be changed. And so I always recommend that. And I recommend also taking care of your body. I don't think a lot of people realize, but the things that they feed us is actually not good for us. Not giving your body the momentum, the physical need of moving your body is also important. So be wise of what you feed your body, because that's highly important. And also be wise of taking time to take care of your body, whether that's, you know, in the gym, whether that's stretching, whether that's jogging, or whatever it is that fits, you know, your physical needs. But I always recommend taking care of your body, taking care of your temple will make your life change. And also find your purpose and your passions. And what I mean by that is explore what fits your life and what makes you happy. I feel like what changes your life is when you figure out what makes you happy and what sparks you. And so also at the end of this, I can say my relationship with God has made my life a lot better. It's changed my life. So with you just figuring out your relationship with God and bettering that, it helps overall with your walk in just life itself. So I hope those tips helped. I feel like I could add more to that. Maybe that could be, you know, a topic, a video topic. All right, next question. What are your favorite things to do and what are your passions in life? Okay, this is a really good question. I really appreciate you for asking this. My favorite things to do are photography, videographing. I love buying flowers. I love getting flowers. I love watching K-dramas. I love going to the gym. Love, love, love going to the gym. I've been in the gym for about 9 months now, and I go 3 to 4 times a week, and I love the gym so much. I love editing content. I love collaging and content creation and all that cool stuff. My passion in life is Jesus, as simple as that sounds. I am living life for Jesus, and everything I do will be glorified in God's name. Really, my passion is to love God. It is to uplift people and encourage and motivate people. I one day want to do something to where I get the opportunity to meet people and share and uplift people, whatever way that looks like. And so I feel like my passions is to really uplift and motivate people of God's kingdom. That's what my passion is. And so whatever that looks like, whatever God has for me in that position is what I want to do. And so I feel like that's my passion. That's a good question. Thank you for asking that. Next question, how do you balance taking care of yourself in a godly way? I feel like staying in the Word is very important. At least, and if you're not in tune with reading the Bible, I listen to like a whole chapter, a whole 3-hour long chapter of Genesis, you know? And so instead of, if I don't have my Bible with me, I can just listen to the whole entire reading of the Bible. And so you're learning about the Bible, you know, and if there's something that sticks out to you, you may go on your phone and you highlight it, but taking time to really be in the Word. It does not have to be like everybody else, because everybody's walk with God is different. So it's really whatever makes you feel comfortable with God. I know for me, I like, you know, listening to the Bible, but I also love reading about the Bible and highlighting scriptures. I love listening to sermons. I will listen to about 5-hour long sermons. What I mean by that is I'll watch one video that's an hour long, I'll watch another video, and I'll watch another video, and I'll watch another video, and before you know it, 8 hours then went by. I'm at the clock out of work, and I didn't give God my whole entire day. I listen to worship every single day going to work. I don't listen to any other music but Jesus Christ. I play music in the car every day when going to work, and sometimes I cry. Sometimes I lift them hands up and I worship and I scream and I praise, and sometimes I just sit here and I just soak in God's music and hearing God's presence. So it's really whatever you feel comfortable. When I'm showering, I'll put on godly music. When I'm, you know, laying down, I'll put on a sermon and go through Bible and take notes. There's times where I've written prayers to God in a journal. So it's really however you like it with your relationship with God. But I guess taking care of myself in a godly way, that's what I thought you meant, is by like, how do I take care of myself in a way that forms around God? But just in general, how I take care of myself is definitely just, you know, giving myself that physical need that my body needs, and learning on a day-to-day basis. I'm always learning new things, and definitely finding new things that highlight my creativeness. And so I'm trying to balance that question out with godliness, how I do my relationship with God, how I also, you know, do life itself. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, next question. What camera do I use? I use a Canon Rebel T8i 18-55mm lens. I look forward to getting a new lens soon. That's something that is on my list for my birthday that I'm getting for myself. So this camera quality is temporary. That's the camera that I use, and I've been using it. I got this camera for my grandma. She got it for me when I graduated college, and as soon as she got it for me, I started a photography business, and I started YouTube, and I use it for my other fun things too. This camera is the holy grail. I love this camera. It has blessed me to bless people like y'all. So shout out to my grandma. She really knew what she was doing when she got this as a graduation gift. So my last question is, what made you want to be a Christian over any religion? I don't really like to even think about any other religions. I don't even like the word religion. I just love being a woman of God and a woman of Christ. And that's all I can say. I feel like when you start tying in other religions, it makes it so controversial. It's like people are gonna be like, you're doing this, that's another religion. Did you know this and this and this and that, this? And like, it's just too much. At the end of the day, I'm a woman of God, I'm a woman of Christ, and when that is it. It was very easy to pick God over everything else, because what does God say? I am the way, the truth, and the life. That's all I needed to know. God is the greatest. He's the King of all kings, and he's our almighty. And there is nothing, no God, nothing that could take that away from how significant and the only God, which is Jesus Christ. That's pretty simple. There is no question. There was no, what do I need to research or anything like that? Because at the end of the day, I already knew Jesus is king, so. Alright y'all, that's all I have. It's getting really dark, so I just wanted to say thank you so much for everyone who asked questions, who has taken the time to want to get to know me. I would love to get to know y'all as well, so if there's anything that y'all want to get to let me know about you, definitely comment below your journey with God, how old you are, so I can get to know the people of our godly community and really get to interact with y'all, not just me, but y'all as well. So definitely feel free to share anything that you want me to know about you. And lastly, if there's any topics that you would like me to touch on that formulate around the self in a godly way, definitely comment it below. I would love to touch on a lot of good topics that people feel the need to get some confirmation or some encouragement on. And at the end of the day, I just want to say thank you so much. You are all so amazing. I love being surrounded by God's kingdom and sharing God's kingdom with other people to help bring it and make it more packed. I'm just so thankful to be on this journey. I hope that if you enjoyed learning about me, that you like this video. And if you enjoyed learning about me, or you watch another video that helped learn, about what I do as far as YouTube, definitely subscribe. I'm an awesome person, and I just want to definitely continuously do God's work. And so thank you so much, and till next time, much love. Bye.